You are listening to the podcast To Be Single or Not to Be by Shanna Montana, a podcast where we talk about the single life, dating, and relationships so you can make a decision at the end of each episode to be single or not to be. So today's topic is non-negotiables. Some of you may know what they are and some of you may know what yours are. However, I have a very strong feeling that many of us have never discussed our non-negotiables with a partner or created any. So that's why many of us are probably still single today, myself included, or struggling in our current relationships because we failed to really set those boundaries up front from the start. So what are non-negotiables? If you have that question, I am here to answer. I really think that they are things or subjects that are a place where you draw a hard line, where you give a hard stop, kind of like a go straight to jail with no $200 in Monopoly. If you violate any of these terms or items on this list, they are the ultimate deal breakers. And for this reason, I wanted to bring in some help on this subject matter. So starting out, we have our married counsel here today, Miss Tori. Say hello. And next we have Miss Kiera and Reese. These are our single ladies.
Hi.
Welcome everybody. So we're going to get right into the conversation. Why do you ladies think non-negotiables are important?
I feel like non-negotiables set the standard for your relationship.
Okay.
Non-negotiables also set that expectation for what's to come. Of course, everybody jumps into a relationship expecting this relationship to be long-term. And greatness. Especially, when you get to the point where this is somebody that you want to marry. Yeah. Right?
Or you just like a lot in the early stages.
Or you like them a lot, so you're expecting enough from them, but it's crushing for you to have an expectation. But then they not follow through with what that is.
Right.
So you have to communicate that. Yeah. So non-negotiables basically just take you to that place where it's like, hey, this is that. If this is what it is,
then we ain't it.
We ain't it.
I use non-negotiables as like a reminder. Because sometimes, you meet a guy, you're like, oh, he fine. Yeah. He smell good. His heart nice. Right. But then you get like lost in like the infatuation of it all. So then you have to, that's why I say write down your non-negotiables. Because then you can look back at that like, okay, wait.
Yeah.
You don't meet like 8 out of 10 of these.
Right.
He's just fine.
Right.
So let me, rewind that
Come back to reality. Yeah.
Bring that back. And get back to like why I'm really dating. Like, why am I dating him?
Why am I interested in this person?
Come out of this, right?
Yeah, I like that. I heard something on a YouTube today that said that women have to get out of initially. We go with our feelings. I feel like, he's fine. He smells good. I like him a lot, girl. And then if you ask a guy about a new girl, they're like, she cool. She likes sports. Right. She straight. It's she got all the teeth in her mouth. So it's like a man does not start out with those feelings, but I think that we do. So you are absolutely right that we have to get past the physical, past the I would say, what is it, the material or the surface. The surface level things, the shallow things. We have to get past that and keep a list to remind us, because if not, once the shallow things start to fade 2-3 months in, we're like, wait a minute, I forgot to look at that damn list. Look.
All the way that car don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
If you ain't making a bank. Because credit is another thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's say that for another conversation.
Yeah. So what do you think?
I think that a lot of times we need to jump in a relationship kind of like how we jump into a job.
Okay.
If you don't meet the requirements, you're not going to be successful.
Right.
So if it's not working out, it's just not working out for me. You might be able to find another job.
Yeah, another candidate.
Look, this ain't it.
Yeah.
So if you don't meet these requirements, keep on pushing. I wish you the best.
Right.
No hard feelings. This just ain't going to work out. And we can cut that in the beginning.
Yeah.
You don't meet the qualifications.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you don't meet the qualifications, more ladies, men and women, we have to start looking at that. It is like that, qualifications, because on another episode, someone mentioned, when you go buy a car, or when people buy a dog, people will spend more time looking for the dog that they want than they put into the person that they are about to invest their life with.
Even in finding your birthday outfit. I know when it comes down to my birthday or a celebration, I'm like, nah, that dress ain't it.
Yeah.
Okay, but that dress could go, but I don't think I could find the shoe that go with that.
And
you
I
need to put that same energy.
The weather, you gotta consider where you go.
Your hair,
like everything.
Months and weeks of planning. Right. My birthday is in September. I have already begun planning.
I'm planning too.
Yeah. So you are absolutely right. We have to keep that same energy across the board when it comes to these non-negotiables. So when you guys think about prior to today, have you all gone into your previous relationships with those non-negotiables in mind and really imparted them upon your partner? And I think we're going to start with our married case.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that was coming.
Yes. So how did that work out for you? Did you do that?
I didn't do that prior to meeting my husband, but right before I started dating him, I made this list. I prayed on it. I just remember this Oprah episode.
She did the Sierra prayer, y'all.
Let me know the prayer sis.
I remember watching Oprah because I was real grown when I was young. But I used to watch Oprah, all the inappropriate episodes and all, with my mom. Mm-hmm. And so I remember her saying, when you want something out of life, write down what you want and pray over it and watch it manifest.
Right.
So at the time, the only thing I was struggling in was relationships.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me write down.
We do. It's like that's the main area many of us struggle in.
Why? And I literally was on the phone with my mom. I was like, I don't understand how like one part of my life can be going perfectly because I was about to graduate from school. You know, everything was going good. And I'm like, but these niggas.
Yeah.
Like, they trifling out here. Yeah. So, like, when my mom was like, well, if just pray about it, you know God made you to be a wife, you're a beautiful girl, there's nothing wrong with you. Yep. It's just, that perfect man has to come. And so I thought about that episode and I was like, ooh, let me write down the perfect man, quote unquote. And I wrote it down and I met him like, well, I knew him the whole time, but it didn't appear to me.
Why not? Why would you say it didn't appear to you until after the list? Why do you think that was?
I don't know. I think sometimes you be chasing a dream, but it's not the purpose that God has for you.
Yeah.
So like,
purpose.
I was dating this guy in particular, the relationship that let me know, like, girl, you were on the wrong path.
Get it together.
And we wasn't even in a relationship. He wouldn't even make me his girlfriend.
Ooh, won't commit.
We was dating for like a year and a half. And everybody was like, oh, this is it for y'all, this is it for y'all. But I didn't want to tell nobody, like, we're not even together.
Yeah. We shine.
We just like, holding hands on campus, little cute stuff. But we ain't even, he won't even, say I'm his girlfriend. But the whole time he had a whole nother relationship. That's a whole other conversation.
That's another episode.
But
backstabbers, smile in your face.
I was just like, the whole time I thought he was the guy I'm trying to compete for his love. And I didn't even realize, like, what type of man do I really want? Like, I'm just chasing his physicality and
he smell good.
The idea of what we look like from the outside looking in. And
what people were imparting on y'all.
Right.
Like, y'all so cute. Y'all gonna be together. Yeah.
At the time, I was, like, trying to build myself spiritually. So I'm like, who did God make me? And who do I think God is making for me to be that perfect, perfect partner? And that's what I wrote down. I mean, I wrote down to the physical. Like, he need nice hair. Yeah. If he gonna have a beard, it needs to be nice and trimmed at all times. He needs to care about himself physically. All that good stuff. Smart, funny. Yeah. And literally, Mel is like all of that
on your list.
Shout out
to Mel. Manifesting Mel.
And we was already friends. And we called each other best friend. We used to tell each other, like, I had a crush on him, but then he was the guy I would tell my guy friends or boyfriends or whatever, like, oh no, that's just my best friend. Yeah. And then when that said, I was like, dang.
Not even knowing. Look at some brown sugar love going on. Right. The perfect verse over a tight beat.
Real life.
I'm here
Sometimes
for
it takes to write it down and look at it.
I definitely think I agree because prior to this podcast, prior to 2019, I did not have a list. I had no list. I literally went into relationships like, I'm really feeling this guy. He's so cute. He's so handsome. We laugh together a little bit. He takes me out to eat. He has a place to stay. All the basic surface things, but never, ever, ever, even though I was always doing all this self-work on myself, spiritually, mentally, physically, I was never like thinking about, in regards to my partner, I need to require these same things and verbalize it, because I believe in my mind, I wanted those things. In my mind, I knew that I wanted a partner who would, you know, be equally yoked with myself and all the stuff that you talked about. But I think that when it came to the guys that I was dating, and maybe I wasn't really ready for a relationship.
Right.
Because
that's
now that
thing.
when I say it out loud, I don't think I was ready, because I was in, I would say, a more immature place where I hadn't really thought about my life partner.
Right.
You know,
that's the thing.
that I'm going to be with this man forever. And these are the things that I want to be able to, you know, come into this relationship with. So I think that prior to now, I had not had a non-negotiables list. And that is one of the reasons of many why I am single today. Because the list is ultimately, you know, like the boundaries that you create, the requirements that you have. And I really went into my relationships all willy-nilly. And they turned out to be just that. Willy-nilly. Nothing.
Willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Jeez.
We went
That's the
nowhere.
difference between standards and expectations.
Absolutely.
Okay, come on.
Yeah. You can have a standard, but like if you don't even know what you're looking for, how can you expect
something from somebody?
Those make-believe standards to even come out of him or her?
What you see online or what you see as relationship.
Some standards.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
For a little while,
right? Like I can do that for a little while. But if you're really trying to do this and this is really your life, that's your lifestyle, and there ain't gonna be no limit to it.
Right.
But them fake standards, you can do that for a minute. I could do. I could do that interview piece.
Yeah,
I can do that.
Right.
Absolutely. But you saying you gonna hold me? Yeah, you gonna hold me accountable for this? It's like, oh no,
accountability is a whole nother subject.
I gotta keep doing it.
Yeah, no, and then that's when they realize. So what about you guys? Did y'all go into it with the
I know
list?
for me, and I love this whole idea of a list. I list everything because I've always, you know, gone off of the notion that if I speak it into existence, it'll come. So every aspect of my life, I literally list out, this is what I want. These are my expectations. But I've never taken that approach to a relationship. And like Shayna said before, I don't feel like I was in a place where I was prepared for a relationship. For me, I feel like getting into a relationship is serious enough that this is going to lead to marriage. Okay. So, you know, these little fellas that I entertaining. Yeah. You know, it's entertainment and it's fun. But I've gotten to a place where I'm like, you know what, God, and I did pray, you know, help me to prepare myself to accept my husband. Right. But in that, I never sat down and said, you know what, let me list out my expectations or my non-negotiables that I want to follow through with this relationship. Right. So I will be making a list, but I'm just at a place where I've just been like, just reveal me to me. Yeah. Right. I need to understand me first. And that's been the important thing for me. And I've been on that journey of trying to
be clear on who you are.
Be clear with myself as to, is this what I want? Because I don't want to jump into a relationship with expectations knowing that I'm not even sure what it is that I'm expecting.
Yeah. Right. And we touched on that in the last episode. You have to be clear about expectations of yourself. So I like that.
And I think a lot of us are looking to relationships to get to that marriage phase. And we already were given an expectation. Love is patient, love is kind. And we don't always go back to what he told us we should be looking for. So it's like, we'll get into this situation with somebody and they have everything else, but they really not that person that you can be patient with. They can be kind to you. Because there's a lot of people that are in love with somebody who don't even respect them.
And it's not nice.
No, just be nice to me. Yes. Like, so it's like, it's so much that we were given that we're not going back to it. And I'm going to speak from a religious point because I do think marriage, of course, is a spiritual thing, right? And you got to include God in it. And He already told you, if nothing else, He got to be this. Yeah. So if we not going back to Scripture, this is what I need you to be. Right. Plus, I need you to be this other thing. Then it's really not going to work out.
Not at all.
And I feel that we get to a place where spirituality is only relevant in certain areas of our life. You know, we go through.
Yeah.
We go through
marriage.
certain things.
He not my husband.
Relationship relationships.
But
Like,
it's very well
Yeah.
important in the beginning. Like you mentioned earlier, being equally yoked.
Yeah.
That yoke starts before you get to
before you say I do.
considering marriage.
Yeah.
Right. That's why your non-negotiables, you have to consider, like how you were saying, I need to know myself.
Mm-hmm.
You also need to understand where God is taking you.
Yeah.
That person got to go along that
with
journey,
you on that journey. Yeah.
Because marriage is life. Like,
yeah.
literally, your entire life you're supposed to be married to a person.
Forever. Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear.
Yeah, just so we're clear. It is a commitment.
Some people think it's a game.
No.
Nah, son, you stuck. For your whole life.
Forever we are here. But do you think that guys, when it comes to this list and these non-negotiables and things we talk about it, do you guys think that a lot of men are receptive to it?
A mature man.
Yeah.
I talked to somebody
Man
about
that's
that
ready
today.
for real.
Okay. Mature men. I talked to somebody today about emotional maturity. I think that if a man is emotionally mature, or a woman, that you can work with that person to some extent.
Right.
If you don't have that as a core fundamental, then my list is going to mean nothing. Because you're probably not going to take it seriously. You're going to laugh at it. You're going to say, okay, I can do those things. And 5 minutes later, you are violating one of the rules on the
I'm
list.
my feelings.
Yeah. And then I'm feeling some kind of way. Yeah. Trying to figure it out. What were you going to say about it?
I was in agreement with Tori.
Okay. That,
Absolutely.
You need that emotional maturity.
You need it.
Yeah, you gotta
because
be mature.
that's going to be the standard of everything.
Right.
If we're not at a place where we can agree that this is going to be our foundation and this is, you know, the direction that not only God is leading us in, but this relationship is leading us toward, then we don't have anything. There is no foundation.
Right.
That's how you know he's not the one. If he takes your standards as a challenge, like almost like you being combative, like you gotta do this, then he ain't it, sis.
No,
move on.
He's not
somebody
there.
who, if he's not, like, let's say you name your non-negotiables to a guy you want to date, and he's not necessarily there. He doesn't meet,
He's just like,
yeah,
okay.
he might just be like, oh wait, I gotta do this. If he's offended, move on. But if he's somebody like, okay, in his mind he may be thinking, I'm not there yet, but I could definitely be that person. Like, I'm willing to grow because I know that I'm going to grow. So, and I can see potential in our relationship, and he's receptive to your standards, then I mean, he's worth the date. But if he's offended and feeling some type of way because you saying he need to have, I mean, this is outrageous. But if you say he needs to have $10,000 in his bank account, and he talking about something, well, I only got right now.
No. Right. I agree. Because I've literally had somebody look me in my eyes when I told him I had not even given the list, but I brought up, like, you know, going forward, I'm going to have these non-negotiables. Right. And they immediately were like, like a baby, like going nuts. Like, no, ain't nobody about to hear no list. Ain't no. Okay, sis. That's what I'm going to tell him.
You're draining.
This is exhausting. Okay, sis. That's what you have to say to a man like that.
Vampire.
Okay, sis.
I don't have anything to give toward this situation.
You just switched it off.
Vampire.
Energy, yes. Energy vampire. Ooh, that's there.
Girl.
Put that on a shirt. Energy vampire. Yes, put that on a shirt and give it to people. Don't wear it.
Yeah,
I give it out to people.
You need to know. I'm trying to warn somebody else.
When you encounter that person, hold on, I got something for you. And part it out the bag.
You know what? We're not gonna work, but here, take this shirt.
You take this. I agree. Hand it out. Party favors. So
I think it's very true, because not to say that your life doesn't matter before marriage,
right?
But marriage means a lot. Like, we
having
kids together, we're starting generations, businesses, like whatever.
Just having a home together.
Yeah,
like,
that's a lot.
Maintaining a home together.
That's a lot.
Live with you, share my bed, the bed I'm used to.
The
just,
two
Baby,
Yeah.
like, so it's like, if we don't have that understanding in the beginning, ain't nothing else going forward. We don't even need to talk about it.
Yeah, and you can't change them. You can't change their mind. It's no use in trying to.
You gotta be comfortable with that. Like, okay, this isn't gonna work. So, you know, I'm fine. I hope you're okay.
Yeah.
Don't call me no more.
Right.
Do not
It's
call
over
me
with.
no
It
more.
ends here today.
Best wishes.
It's okay.
Here's your t-shirt.
Here's your t-shirt. I like that. Do y'all think that, but with this list, as we talk about it in these non-negotiables, is that kind of like building a man?
Yep, but that's okay.
Look, speak on that.
Look, I'm listening
We
intently.
listen to Married Counsel say yes, that's
Married
okay.
counsel.
Yeah.
I've been married for 2 years. I don't know
Like,
that.
I've been married for 2.5 seconds, you know.
I'm not professional. I think it's like, what's wrong with me? Like, I think people look at it like negative, like, oh, you ain't gonna never find out. Like, I literally had a relative. One Thanksgiving, my mom's side of the family has family reunion every Thanksgiving. It's just easier. So my cousin, older lady, literally went tit for tat with me and my other cousin and was just like, y'all ain't never gonna find a man because y'all just looking for the perfect man. Do this.
Was this this was a female or a man?
A female.
Okay.
And single, very single. And I was at the time, I'm really shady sometimes. The Lord working on me. So I was like, I don't even know how she my cousin. Like, mom, you need to check her. Is she really related to me?
Who are you? Right.
I'm gonna read her. So I'm just like, my daddy, although my mom and my dad weren't married when I was growing up, he was like literally everything. And, I'm just like, nah, because I seen a man raise me a certain way and do certain things. So I'm pretty sure they exist.
Right.
So therefore, my standards will stay.
Yeah,
and
where they are.
I will meet this man and I'm willing to wait until, I might go to dinner a few times in between.
Yeah.
But I'm going to wait until that perfect person comes along because perfect to me may not be perfect to you. However, I'm going to find my perfect.
We all have different tastes, different flavors. And so I know you talked a little bit about, too, with your husband. Like, he had a list. You all were kind of on the same accord with that.
he had a list, too. But his list was kind of like deeper than mine. Mine was like, I just want him to pray. I want to be cute, handsome, nice hair. His was like, she need to have good communication skills. Yeah. Okay. And I'm like, look, I got none of that. I need to work on that. And his thing, he actually curved me at first. What? Because, when I realized I liked him, I was like, You
try to flip out of the best friend mode.
Yeah, so what we doing?
Slid out.
He like, what you mean what we doing? Sis, literally. Said I was your best friend yesterday.
He was like, I think, he was like, I'm feeling you, but I think we should be friends right now. And I'm like, that's when I knew that I feel like through him, that was God's way of saying, sit yourself down somewhere. Yeah. Like, you may not know for sure if he's the one right now, but you do need to chill. Since you don't have to be in a relationship. Yeah. Relax.
So how long did it take for that to kind of come full circle?
To we was in a relationship? Mm-hmm. Probably 6 months. Because we did, but that was one of his non-negotiables. We have to be friends first because at the end of the day, that's how you build communication. Because I'm not even comfortable with communicating with you if I don't really know you like that.
They don't trust
really,
you.
Friends.
How you gonna react?
Yeah.
But I didn't understand that until him.
And be able to share my secrets, all that good stuff. Because if you just go into it with this person that immediately becomes your mate, I haven't really found the core of who you are like we do with our friends. Right. And I think that that's essential. It may look at it, like you said, as build a man, but I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, I think literally if I had an opportunity to go into Build a Bear and build a man, I probably would. I think we all would. So why would I not? And I think that's
the perfect man for me.
Yes. And I think that's a part of what we have to do and not be afraid of that and not have fear of if we do these things that we're going to scare a man away, because the man that we scare away is not the man that's for you anyway.
For you at all.
Absolutely. And it's not,
it's okay.
We're going to dive into what the pieces of it is, because it's not about making a superficial list or wishing for a man that is named Klay Thompson or, or Idris Elba, not wishing for certain things like that, but it's really getting to the core, like you said, of, what do I look for in my friends? Like we said, we look harder for other things, birthdays, dogs, cars, than we do for a man. So what do I look for in the core of it? And that leads us to, there are different parts when it comes to non-negotiables. So make sure that you are aware of this, you are in tune with this, and you are writing this down if necessary. So there are 3 parts to non-negotiables. And the first part that we are going to discuss are the core essentials. So you have the core essentials, number 1. You have the non-negotiables, which are the hard stops. And then you have the desirables. So we're going to start out with the core essentials. And what core essentials are really like character traits. These are things that you uncover through conversations with the person that you're dating, going out with this person, hanging around their friends and family. You have to be attentive. You have to pay attention. When they're speaking, listen to what they're telling you, because a lot of times a person is going to reveal themselves. And like Maya Angelou says, when a person shows you who they are, please believe them. Believe them. So I think that when it comes to the core essentials, things that stand out to me of core essentials are like the guy that you're dating. Is he a clean person? So people that know me personally know that I have a slight case of OCD. I like for the house to be kept a certain way, especially the bathroom. And I think that, some women might make an excuse for a man like, that's just how men are. No man that I'm dating. And it's not really, that's not a non-negotiable, but that's a core essential. You have to pay attention. How do they keep their house? Are they a clean person? Do they have car insurance? Is that important to them?
Do they have car insurance? You ain't got car insurance. You just don't even.
You don't care about me. You don't care. Nobody on the road.
For nothing.
You don't.
No worries.
Yeah, none at all. When you go to the gas station, do you get like $20? Or do you feel your take up? That's just being petty. But also looking at things like, does this person lie or exaggerate unnecessarily when you have conversations with them or you find out certain things, did this person, go to school for one thing and not finish the degree, but they're telling you that they did? So things like that. So what do you guys look at for core essentials for you? Because for me, core essentials are going to be cleanliness is one thing. Integrity and honesty. Don't just be out here lying to be lying. Don't lie at all. But don't be out here just lying for fun. What kind of integrity? It's very true. Integrity comes down to what are you saying behind closed doors. Whatever you can say to my face, you can say behind my back, you should be able to say to my face. So a man that does things like that, a person that is not the same person when they are with you than when they're with their friends and family. You have people who have this mask on, and I never want to be with a person like that. So with you guys, what would you say are some of the character traits that you look for that may not fall under the non-negotiable list?
Well, I know for sure integrity is one of the bigger ones for me. Okay. Because any relationship that I go into, my father is going to be the standard of the man that I allow into my life.
Right.
And I feel like with that, you have to represent a lot more than what's at the surface. Because the cologne, these tailor suits, all of that means nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
It means nothing if you don't have those essentials. Right. Communication is another big thing for me because I could honestly care less what he said or what she said or who has to say what about you. I need you to communicate with me.
Right.
So if we don't have communication or we just lack that aspect within our relationship, we don't have anything. Because I'm in a relationship with you.
Right.
So that's communication is my biggest core essential. Okay. Because I can tolerate a lot to a certain extent. I can tolerate a lot to a certain extent. And I just feel like if we can communicate and work through, certain things or, just make that we're aware of what our reality is in the beginning, it makes a difference.
Right. Absolutely.
Integrity is definitely one of my biggest ones.
Okay.
Which I learned was integrity. As a child, it was say what you mean to mean what you
say.
Right. Now I understand it as, integrity.
Right.
That makes a big deal because if I can't trust that your word is bond,
right.
What else do we have?
Yeah. And you can't communicate.
Because at the end of the day, right, communication is important, but at the end of the day, the whole thing that we have established is a commitment.
Right.
Which means your word is all I have.
Right.
So if I can't trust what you said, nothing else matters. Yeah. So integrity absolutely is it. If I can't pick up the phone and say, hey, you on your way and you on your way,
right, yeah.
We don't need to talk about nothing else.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it. I'm done. We ain't got to do nothing else. Well, here's your t-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Here's your t-shirt.
That's the name of the
Yes. So what were some of your core essentials going into marriage?
Probably integrity, honesty, communication was a big one. Spirituality was also...
Now remember, it's a difference with the core essentials and the non-negotiables.
Right. Honestly, let me be real. I didn't even think about, I just had non-negotiables. I didn't even think about core essentials until it got to the point where we were talking about moving in together. And I was like, ooh, okay, that means I have to share this space. Right. So I need him to be clean. I need him to look the way he do on dates at all times because I don't want to wake up and I'm like, who is this person? So I'm like, I wouldn't get that to you, so don't get that to me. Certain things like that. I really didn't think about things like that.
And see, I feel like I never really thought about the core essentials because I'm sure that with the marriage it's different. For me, I'm not at a place where I'm ready to move in.
Right.
So when it comes down to cleanliness or things like that, while I would expect that, and if I'm coming to your house, I'm paying attention. I peep. But at the same time, I'm not at that place where that's a core essential that I'm considering right now.
Right. Because I live by myself prior, I've had my own apartments probably since my junior year. I had roommates, but I lived by myself.
Right, your own space.
He lived with his parents. I mean, he went to school up the street, so I wouldn't have rent either. I would have went right back to my mom's house. Right. But he lived with his parents, so when it came to us moving in, I knew a whole lot that he didn't know. Right. But in my mind, I expected him to know these things, so it got kind of frustrating. Yeah. I'm like, why don't you know this? But then I had to humble myself, sis, he literally has never been through this before.
Yeah, has not been by himself.
You're going to have to be the lead. And I think a lot of times women, just assume the man is going to be the lead spiritually, financially, emotionally, literally.
Everything.
You're going to be the lead. And sometimes it's just not going to be like that.
Yeah.
And that's when you have to decide, is this okay or is this not?
Right.
I mean, you not knowing who to talk to sign a lease, to me is not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But
to some people it might be.
Right. To some people it might be. And that was the time where I had to sit down like, dang, okay, so I may know a lot. I may have to lead him in certain areas
because you lived on your own.
Not to. Yeah, because I've already been here, done that. Moved on.
Got the t-shirt. And it makes sense, I think, for me, like you said, you were not in that space of moving in, but I think at this point, if I am going to eventually venture into another relationship, for me, the end goal is marriage. So if I'm going to commit to somebody, we are dating with a purpose. I know that if this purpose ends up being marriage for us to get there, that's going to be very important to me. Like if you have grown up being nasty, I'm not playing on. It's going to be hard to change those habits at like 30 plus.
Right.
And you may be a man that's going to conform to a lot of things, but that could be one thing. It's like, you are disgusting. I mean,
that's why I feel that I'm going to take note of certain things.
Right. Pay attention.
But I'm not going to come out the gate like, so are you
clean? No. And I think that for core essentials, these are things you have to be mindful of. I think non-negotiables, you have to communicate. You have to be very verbal up front. But I think when it comes to the core essentials, these are things that you are somewhat paying attention to their actions. I'm not sitting down on the first date asking, do you put the toilet seat down? What kind of cleaner do you use? Like, I'm not doing that. But if I come to your home or you come to mine, I'm being very mindful of that. If we go to your mom's house, I'm paying attention to how well this house is clean, because that may be an indicator of what she taught you or what she did not teach you. Also, when it comes to integrity, like you said, if you whatever you say you are going to do, I'm not gonna bother you, not gonna nag you. I'm gonna see did you do what you said you were going to do. So those are things, the core essentials, ladies and gentlemen, are things that you are paying attention to that you may not initially verbalize. I think eventually you'll verbalize those things if you guys make a commitment and say you're going to move in together or even just be together. You have to at that point kind of verbalize everything. But the core essentials are things that you are just being mindful of and making your own mental notes.
I think what we pointed out here is that non-negotiables are hard and fast because it's usually not a teachable moment. Core essentials, I might be able to work with you. I might be able to teach you. I might be able to get you to where I need you to be. But non-negotiables, if you're not there, then I cannot
do it. Somebody said, I heard that someone said with finances, they said if a person makes the money that say you want in your relationship and they may not budget it properly, she felt like sometimes with finances, say if they don't have like a habit where they're out here just blowing their money, she felt like finances is an area where I could teach you possibly to budget. I can teach you that this is what we're going to do with our finances. That's a teachable moment. So that's a core essential. But I think when it comes to non-negotiables, on my list, it is going to be some things dealing with the finances, but it just depends on also where that person is, you know. So your list can move around depending on who and what the circumstances are that you are working with.
If I've addressed a non-essential with you and now it has moved into a non-negotiable, like because I know you know better now, we can't keep doing this at this point. Like, I've taught you. You know what my
You've made it become a non-negotiable.
Right. Like, now we can't do this no more.
You too old.
Due to your lack of cooperation. This is going from a core essential to a non-negotiable. And this will no longer work. Here's your t-shirt.
Because you could not cooperate.
Yes, and this will no longer work. So that makes a lot of sense. You have to look at it. Things may shift. You may start out with these things in your mind that are core essentials or non-negotiables or desirables. But as you go through and you try to learn and teach, if they start to shift around, know that it's okay for you to update any of those lists and make a different decision.
And be comfortable with that. I think is very important.
That's why you have to be friends first.
Right. Because I think I think people are just, especially women, are so hard on themselves. They're like, okay, he got to do this, that, third. And then we have a list and something comes up that you didn't even think about. It's like, what
I forgot to say it. I forgot to tell him. It's like, I forgot to tell him. You tell him now. Hang on. Hey,
that's a problem.
Hey, I'm going to say, can I talk to you? Hey, what you just did, we can't do that again. You got to stop that right there.
First of all, I'm mad as hell.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to communicate this because I didn't say this at first.
Because we was out in public and I didn't want to slap shit. You But I waited till we got home. What you did tonight, don't let that happen again.
Because I have a t-shirt in my closet just in case you act up.
In your side.
Yes. I have an exit strategy.
It's ready.
Don't make this an exit interview. It can be that, so you are right. We have to be able to speak up because you're right. And I thought about that when making a list, you don't want to have this list of, say, it's 20 things. I'm exaggerating, of course, but at some point you start to think like, oh, I forgot to bring that up. And then something happens and you're afraid to bring it up. So I think that it definitely goes back to being friends first. That it's a necessary evil. So that is the point we want to make with the core essentials to everyone listening, is that you have to be okay with that list possibly shifting, but knowing that these are the things you're making mental notes about, what you want to pay attention to. And there's nothing that is off guard. It may be petty to somebody else, but if it's something that is important to you, let it be important to you. Keep it on your list. Nothing, if it's your list. Remember that at all times. Don't worry about what anybody else is going to think or if it's going to drive the man or woman away. Because as we always say, if something that you desire is going to drive that person away, or having a conversation about something that you want is going to drive that person away, then you guys probably do not need to be together anyway.
And give him a t-shirt.
Yeah. Exit stage left. So,
black and white.
Yeah.
You gotta make a t-shirt.
Know that we're discussing this t-shirt after.
As soon as we get done, Energy Vampires, I have a vendor. So that takes us to the non-negotiables. Dun, dun, dun. And I am going to start first. So just know, listeners, I'm not going to give all my non-negotiables because, you know, men might listen to this and think that, you know, I know exactly what she wants.
No, sir, you don't.
No, sir, you have no idea. This is only, no. So
no shortcuts.
Not at all. So we're going to talk a little bit about what some of our non-negotiables are to give you guys some ideas of things that you want to start thinking about. And again, these are things that are hard and fast stops. Just say no. If these things are happening or are not happening, or you have not seen them come into existence, or the person you're dealing with is straight up like, that's not who I am. That's not who I'm going to be. I'm not okay with that. You cannot make somebody be something that you're looking for right then. So one of the top things on my list, and you guys feel free, you know, to chime in as we go through this, is going to be spirituality. Yes. I truly feel like you have to have a relationship with Christ. I would like for you to be involved in church. I'm not saying you have to be a pastor. But I think that for me, I attend church regularly. I need the word in order to fuel me. I go to Bible study, things of that nature. You have to have a belief system. You have to, you know, some people believe in the universe. We believe in rituals. We believe in all those things. And I believe that they are all interconnected because I believe in more than one thing. But in regards to religion, Christ is where I stand. And I feel that if you're a person that's like, I haven't been to church since 8th grade on Easter Sunday, then, you know, I'm looking at you sideways because you may, you know, a person, I think some people may feel like, you know, well, I could start going to church. No, you have to get there on your, that's one thing I don't feel like is that core essential. I cannot raise you through the word. I think that if we are somewhat alike in that place, then we can grow spiritually, because I want you to be chasing after God as much as you're chasing after me. That's how I feel. And so, I think that that's really important for me. And if I find someone that's not on their radar, that's not important to them, that's not what they're talking about, it's X, it's curtains, it's over with. So that's where I stand on that.
And see, religion is, or just having that spiritual connection is also one of my core essentials, because I'm a pastor's daughter. So my relationship with God is literally the fabric of my being.
Right.
And I feel like if at any point you can't say, oh, or even just have that willingness to try to establish a relationship with God.
Right.
Then there's no forward movement for us.
Yeah. And I want a disclaimer that I'm not judging anybody that is not in that position. And I'm not saying that I am the Virgin Mary over here in no way, shape, or form. But again, like, I think that's a better way of saying it, that you have to be working on that relationship. You have to believe in something that's not like, I'm an atheist. That's no, that's a hard no. We are not doing that. But I think that you have to be a work in progress, just like I am.
Always. Yeah. And we're all a work in progress.
Yeah,
because no
absolutely.
one's perfect. And I actually had a conversation with my dad on Sunday, and we were talking about a particular situation with a particular member. And he was just saying, you know, we as a church, or as a people within the church, we have to be patient with people's situations. We don't know what they've gone through. We don't know where they've come from.
Right.
Now, you know, what they're willing to share is up to them.
Right.
So I'm not going to look at you and say, oh, well, because you haven't been to church since 8th grade, then I just got to completely cancel you out. But at the point that you don't see yourself progressing into a place where you can have this spiritual relationship with God, or, you know, just that willingness to say, let me try, let me get a chance, then...
And that connects, because, guys, I really gave an example of someone who those were the words to me. I have not been to church since 8th grade, and I'm really not interested in that.
And see, it's when you say
literally
that you're
somebody
not interested,
said that.
That's one thing.
And that's the conversation. Because
and see, it's not for me to get to the root of that, because you've already established where you stand.
Yeah. And that's
now,
what I mean. Yeah.
If that's where you are, then that's where you are.
Yeah.
I don't have anything for you.
Right.
But at the point that you're like, I don't have that connection, but I'm trying to figure out a way to get there, then maybe I can, depending on the circumstances, I can take the time out to say,
and I think
let's
on a
see
second
what we
date,
do.
and I think that is a better explanation, because I don't want any listeners to feel like, you know, it's a hard no just because you say you don't believe in Christ.
But
or
sometimes
not
it is.
But I think in that example with that person in particular, it was because he was very serious. Like, you know, I hear what you're saying, but I'm not about that life. Like, I'm not trying to do that. It wasn't it for him. And so that's what I mean. But I think that, like you said, a work in progress. You are interested. I want to lean that way. I would love to start going to church. I'm interested, you know, whatever the case may be.
Or just
and then we
trying
can
to
see.
figure things
Figure
out.
it out.
Because I know a lot of us are in a place where we're just trying to figure life out.
Right. Every day.
I'm trying to figure work out.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot that I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
But
Every day. Every
my
day.
mindset is in a place where I know, and I've, addressed that this is something that needs work. Yeah. So let's see how I can work toward getting to that place.
Absolutely.
But at the point that you just shut it down, like, no, boy, I bring you home to my daddy. Your daddy's gonna be like, what?
And that's what I mean.
Gonna ask.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's where I am. If
like
you
that.
are just like a hard no, like you have nothing for spirituality, you don't care about it, you don't care about God, the universe, anything, sir,
here's your shirt.
Yeah, it's over with. So that's where I am. The next thing for me, a non-negotiable, is communication. You have to have open communication. You have to be willing to talk about things, talk things through, talk about things that may be uncomfortable. You have to be able to talk about your wants and needs the same way that I am talking about my wants and needs, because it's not just one side of the table. I think that without communication, and of course, everything I'm saying, guys, I'm speaking from a place of experience, of being with people that felt like, I don't want to talk about this right now. So what I'm supposed to just wait till you ready? That might be next week, next month. I don't know.
And at
so
that point, I done moved on.
Yeah. So, and I moved on mad. So it's like.
I'm about to say, because now I just talk with, like, I either talk too much, or like, dang, did I overstep? You know,
and then I'm trying to judge myself.
Communicate.
Yeah, what was the issue? I forgot about it, because that brings me back to the other core issue that we must have had. And the fact that you are a person that does not want to open your mouth to communicate. And I think that when it comes to some men, that's a struggle for them. They don't want to talk about things. They don't want to have the uncomfortable conversations. They don't want to communicate. If they are unhappy, I think as women, we have to be able to communicate the same thing. So I think that communication is full circle on both sides. And you encounter people all the time. It's like, I don't want to talk about that shit. I don't feel like talking about that. You know, you read all the self-help books that say, don't preface a conversation and say, can we talk about something? Kiss my ass.
Yeah. I said what I said. We need to talk.
Look, what time you gonna be home? We need to talk about it. So, look, I don't care. We are communicating about whatever. So that is important to me. The next thing I would say for me is family. You know, I don't mean family. We sit down and say that, we need to have 2.5 kids and a picket fence by the end of the year. I mean family in my sense that I come from a large family, and I do a lot of family celebrations. I do a lot of friend celebrations. I like to entertain. So that family vibe, whether it be with family and friends, that you want to come around, you want to hang with people, that you have a relationship. I would like for you to have a good relationship with your family so we can hang with your family. And then eventually for me, if I do decide to have a child, that's a desire of yours, that you want to be married and you want to have a kid, because we talked about the end goal. For everybody, the end goal is not marriage. I have a desire to be married, and I know everybody doesn't, but I think that when it comes to that, you have to have that conversation. And I think that a lot of women don't, that we just kind of assume fear. We assume things. We have a lot of fear. We out here hoping, as I always say, hoping that he'll read our mind, hoping that we'll figure it out.
Even trying to uphold that standard that was set by whomever, aunties, mamas, grandmas before us.
Right.
Like, well, this is how it's supposed to go.
Yeah. And we no longer can. I think this day and age, you can't take everything that grandma or mom did back then and try to apply it present day. No. I think some things may be essential, but no, you can't take that same blueprint.
Right. And that's the danger in assumptions, because, like, I was raised just for clarification, me and my husband was raised 2 different ways. Like,
okay.
I mean, we both have the value of family, but like, I'm not as affectionate because my mom and dad, I mean, we told each other we loved each other, but it wasn't something we had to say every day. Right. We didn't have to hug on each other. It was like, we just knew and understood. He's raised totally different. His mom and dad hug on him every time he look like he finna go cut the grass, throw some away in the garage. And like, I remember visiting him like, what is going on? But my assumption is like, when he brought something to the table that was a non-negotiable for him, I was trying to figure out like, why is that non-negotiable? Like, we can't assume that he's gonna be the same because everybody is raised differently. So I can't assume that he's gonna agree with my non-negotiables and vice versa because we were raised totally different. So are we okay with it or not?
Yep. I think that's something you definitely have to address. I think another thing that's important for me is going to be growth and ambition. Ooh. I think that we are at a place, especially when you say, you know, late 20s or early 30s, that, like you said, trying to figure out my career, trying to figure out my life. And I think we have to be in a space, or I want my partner to be in a space where you are constantly trying to grow. When I say grow, I mean like whether you are reading books, you are trying new foods, you are listening to podcasts, you are doing whatever, but you're trying to grow yourself in different ways, mentally, physically, spiritually, going to the gym. You aren't just stagnant. You have a drive about yourself. And I'm not saying that you have to be out here trying to save the world every day. I'm not saying that you have to be out here, you know, trying to run for president of the United States, but I think that you have to be in a space where you are uncomfortable with where you are now, and you know at our age that there is definitely more that you have, that you can attain, and there's more to desire. And in my experience, I've just run into people that have been, you know, working hard 9 to 5 just to stay alive. Solid. And that's it. And that's it. And you know, it's like, you know, it's no venturing out, no trying anything new, going here. You know, I'm a person that is all about, I'm a complete 1000%, I think, extrovert. And I am always on the move, always on the go. So I think for me, that's why it's a non-negotiable, because I want somebody to match that, because Bishop said once before, busy needs busy. If you busy and that person's not trying to grow or do anything, they're going to be looking you upside your head trying to figure out, you know, why are you doing so much? Why are you doing all that? And in my early 20s, I was in a relationship where he was guilty of always asking me that, you know, like, why are you doing so much? Why are you moving around? I remember once this man told me, this was right after I crossed Delta, and he said, well, maybe we could talk about marriage when you get done with all that Delta stuff. And I'm like, sir, you do know Delta is a lifetime commitment. So it's like, when I get done with all that Delta stuff, okay. And that was a whole nother situation. I shouldn't have been in that situation, no way. But that was just the indicator early on of somebody who was not about the growth, not about the ambition, not about the drive that I had even back at the age of 23, 24. So to encounter some people, the same kind of man at 30 plus, it's like, y'all niggas still out there. Y'all still out there.
Oh,
reproducing. And not doing nothing. We are now introducing a new segment to the podcast. This is called Living Single. We want you guys to send in any of your relationship questions, if you need advice, or if you just want to give feedback on the show on a topic that we've discussed. Feel free to DM them on Instagram to Shanna Montana, or you can inbox me on Facebook, Living Single, and we'll definitely be touching on these topics on each episode going forward.
I just need you to have some kind of roadmap. Mm-hmm. Like, in general, this is where you're headed. Whether you go to this spot first or that spot next,
right?
You know what I'm saying? That's depending on what life leads us to.
Some kind of plan.
But this, in general, is where you want your life to go. Right. As long as I know that you got some kind of map, I can go on a journey with you. If you just out here
living,
wandering, I can't wander with you. I need to know that you going somewhere. Like, I'm not saying that you got to be, you know what I'm saying, CEO by 30, but if you have goals and ambitions, I can go there with you. Yeah. I can help you get there. Or we can help each other. Yeah. But if you don't have no ambitions,
it can make sense.
You okay being here at Kroger doing your cashier job for the past like, I'm sorry, that's not gonna work for me. Because at the end of the day, like, I'm trying to get somewhere. I need to know that you can support my family. I need to know that you can support my kids. I need to know that after after the kids we can retire.
Yeah.
I need to know we can go on these trips.
Then I don't gotta start working
no plan to go outside the city limits.
I retire, but
Girl.
So what do you do if you encounter a man and literally is like he don't have a 1-year plan?
Oh no.
That's it.
No. I'm not even gonna say that's it. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you.
We grown.
I'm gonna be a good person. I'm not even gonna lie. I'll help you develop your 1-year plan.
Okay.
And walk away from it.
Yeah.
I don't need to stay here for that. I need you to be on your way. I will help you get there and make you a better person and walk away. I'm not here for this.
I have never heard that.
Here's what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
It's true. Let me prepare you.
Here's your t-shirt. I'm good. I'm not staying for this.
Receive this message and I'm out.
And so I feel like because we all get caught up in that place of this standardization of what life should be, everyone's roadmap, typically, depending on how you were raised or where you come from, is you go to school, high school, you graduate, you go on to college, you meet you a nice, wholesome young lady or man, and then you get married and you have kids.
Yep, that's what we're
And people get caught up in that where you get to the place where you've accomplished all of those things and then you're at a dead end.
Yeah.
Now,
that's when you get
me
lost.
being religious and me coming from a place where my dad is a bishop, you know, the idle mind is the devil's workshop. And I feel like a lot of people get content. Contentment leads you to a place where this is it. And you start to feel like this is all that I have to offer. Hopeless. There's nothing else. You're hopeless.
Yep.
And in that contentment, you get stuck. Now, being content, but also, you know, trying to establish a relationship within that, you start to project that commitment onto your partner. Right. Whether it be a marriage, I can't speak to a marriage situation, but even in a relationship, I mean, I'm sure we've all encountered guys that are content with where they are. Right. Oh, well, you know, I got a job that pays enough and this is good. Or, you know, I'm going to be able to work here and retire and I'll make a good name for myself and also earn a good little living, and it's like it's more to life than that. And I feel like people establish goals, you know, aside from being in a relationship, we establish goals based off of where we see ourselves career wise. And then you get into a relationship, like, aside from all of the things that come with this relationship career wise, I'm making enough money where I can support this family. I can sustain. Yep. But God didn't put us here just to sustain. Come on, Pastor. Come on with the amen. But to be in a place, and I've been in relationships where, like you said, it's like, oh, so when you gonna be done with that? Yeah. Like, for me, service is in my blood. Yeah. You know, regardless of whether it's me being in an organization or me just seeing somebody on the side of the road and saying, how can I help you? Or, oh, you need some help with that? Right. Service is a part of my nature. So for me to get to a place where I hard stop and say, well, this is it. You didn't do your job. I haven't done my job. So for me to be ambitious in the sense that life doesn't stop at that standardized, this is what the outline of your life should be, you know, graduate high school, get married, go to college, graduate, find your loved one, find your soulmate, get married and work. That's not enough for me. So if you are ambitious enough to say, hey, you know, what can we do next? Like, I want to trip. Yeah, I want to, vacay and do all of the fun, booed up things. But at the point that we can't establish goals outside of how to sustain our household. Right. Then I don't feel like there's enough balance there wouldn't be enough balance within a relationship. So ambition is big for me.
So what do you do? And I think, what do you do if you encounter a man that doesn't have a plan?
You move on.
I move on. Honestly, I move on because for me, my life is going to keep going regardless. And I feel like, and I know that Kiara has one of her non-negotiables is a man being insecure. I feel like at the point that you don't have ambition, Yep. You don't have goals. You're not, at a place where you're trying to move forward with the things that you do with your life.
Right.
But I am. And we're trying to sustain a relationship. You're going to get to a place where you're insecure. Because you see me kicking. You see me having fun. Yeah. You see me interacting with certain people that are going to help build me and lead me to the place that I ultimately want to be in life.
Right.
But at the point that you aren't going on this journey with me,
right.
Then I guess
that insecurity gonna kick in.
It's gonna show up, and you should have left them and leave them where they are.
Instead of saying, I'm gonna leave up like babe.
Yeah.
I said I get on.
Now I'm angry. Yeah.
Now you're mad.
So what do you do with that insecurity? Like, how do you tell us about your non-negotiable with that?
I don't. I do not. Because insecurity shows up in so many different ways. Like, it's so many women that deal with a man who's abusive,
right?
Who cheats, who doesn't like that you have other friends or that you spend time with other family members. Like, it shows up in so many different ways, but the root of all of it is an insecurity.
Right.
I can't help you with your insecurity. That's something you got to do. Not to say that people don't have insecurities, little stuff, you know what I'm saying? My foot was poking out. Like, that's little stuff. We can address that, but if you have an insecurity that you haven't addressed, there's nothing I can do for you.
Right.
You need to go be by yourself for a while. You don't need to be in a relationship, and I'm not going to feed into whatever it is that you got going on with your insecurity. Go fix that. If you have the opportunity to fix that, come back, holler at me. We can see
what's going on.
Exactly. We can readdress the situation. Right now, no, that's not what you need. So insecurity is a hard no for me.
No. And
I'm not doing it.
That goes right into mental health.
Yes.
Like, it's some crazy ass people out here.
Like, it's some, y'all.
Crazy.
I'm dating. Well, we weren't even dating. That's the thing. It was crazy. It was weird. I was at his house party playing a game, and from then on, he thought I was his girlfriend. Showed up at my job. Never told him where I worked.
Hold on, go back. You said what happened?
Right. Like, we went to a house party, and like we was playing Never Have I Ever or something. Something weird. Yes. One of those weird college games you play
to get drunk.
End up fucked up. Yeah. It's
yeah.
A bad dream.
That's the goal.
And I guess at that point he was like, I have a crush on you. Now back then, God was still working on me. So I was back on my like, he could take me out to eat. But that don't mean like we fool each other. I just want, a good meal. Because I'm hungry and I'm broke.
College.
So
hungry and broke.
Eat. No, that was my last time ever doing that in life. Because I don't know if he was just one of those like really, he's just needy. Very needy. He assumed we was in a relationship off just me going out to eat. And I'm like, no, how do I rewind this? Because honestly, I just wanted a steak. I don't want a boyfriend.
Like, any of this.
He used to lie on my friends. He used to show up to my job. Never told him where I worked. Now, my job worked at the mall, so it wasn't that hard to figure out.
Still,
but
I never told you.
It's the point. I never told you I worked at the mall. Like, he used to just do crazy things. He used to take me, he took me to his apartment one day on a quote-unquote date. He was like, why don't you come by? I'm like, okay, cool. It wasn't his apartment. It was his DP's apartment.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And I found that out on, after I started. I'm like, why is everybody telling me he crazy now? And y'all saw me.
When you was in the midst of it all.
In the midst of it. You just let me struggle. Y'all saw me, damn.
I'm telling you, people, and that's nuts. And when I think not you, girl, you brought back some college memories.
College was a struggle.
That's what people want. Yeah, that's another episode about college. But mental health is real, and it comes up, like you said, people's insecurities and why they have them, different things that will trigger people from certain situations that'll bring them back to a place where they cannot deal with you. And just like mental stability, you have to evaluate the person. We're saying people are crazy, but you really have to take a serious look at people's mental space. What is going on in their life, whether it be career-wise, family-wise, friend-wise, financially, whatever the case may be, because sometimes people are in a fucked up space and they don't want to tell you, and they will try to date you in the midst of it all. So it's like
they think they hiding it, but it's like, nah.
It's really
crazy.
Your face.
This is absolutely why you have to
like
meet the family. And I know a lot of females is like, well, I don't really need to meet his mama. No, you need
yes, you do.
to tell me more about that, because I took on the mentality with my new list. I was like, I don't want to meet your damn mama. I don't nobody. So
I'm gonna tell you right now that a lot of the mental health issues that adults are dealing with stem from childhood.
Oh, it's from the parents. Everybody's fucked up from childhood.
Exactly. So help me understand. If it's some simple stuff like, you know what I'm saying, like, okay, your mama had to work a lot, so now you're kind of clingy.
Okay,
we might be able to deal with that.
Yeah.
But if your mama locked you in a closet for a week, like, we need to talk about this before we move forward. Like, it's some bigger things that you need to address. Like, so if you haven't
knowing the level of crazy,
you need therapy.
Baby, you gotta know that level of crazy.
Yeah,
you do.
I can deal with certain level of crazies. I understood that about myself because I'm crazy.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna match you, and we can see what's gonna happen. But like, you can't be crazier than me.
That's why I draw the line. That's that hard stop we was talking about.
Baby.
Hard stop.
You can't be crazy. Because if I sit back and clutch my pearls, like,
it's all right.
Yeah.
Now, if I say you're crazy, it is. I don't call people ugly. I try not to call people. That has something to do with like my mom being a social worker. So I'm like, she grew up talking to me about everything.
Yeah.
So I'm real, emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
So I don't call people things that I feel like they shouldn't be called. But if I call you crazy,
you crazy.
You stone cold nutty, and you need to see somebody.
Yeah, get some help
and
with that. It is nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong.
Not at all.
But I feel like it's a lot that you can learn, like, mentally about a person before you even get to the place of meeting
the family. Very much so.
I think if you get in tune with those core essentials,
know that I've been paying attention.
Because if you can't clean, there's a
problem.
But we have to pay attention, people, because it's not, and I can't deal with that. My family. Who been saying every episode? Who raised you?
Who raised you?
Because people, honestly, and that's why I always say I am self-learning and teaching on this podcast, because the core essentials, things like that, I feel like in all of my relationships, I have been out here like Bird Box, just blind to anything other than the physical. I have literally been like, he's fine. We had a good time for the past month. I want to marry him, y'all. He's the one.
Our kid's name is
right. And then like 3 months later, I'm like, bitch. What? My friends like, who raised you? Like, so it's like we say all these things, but I just want everybody to know you really have to pay attention to everything, especially if marriage is the end goal for you. And that brings me to say, what do you do if one of your non-negotiables is marriage? That I want to be married.
Oh, that is what that was.
And he does not.
You got to go.
That's the end.
But see, that's when
there's no forward movement.
Girl, you know how many women stay?
It's set up off that.
Because they think that they can change you.
Yes, you can.
I'm enough that I can change you. Girl, that cooking, that cleaning, you having that baby, kicking it up in the bedroom. That's not enough.
It ain't gonna do it.
It's not enough, and it'll never be enough. At the point that somebody say this is it, believe it. They said that.
He is dead.
He said it.
Serious. Like T outside.
Out of his mouth, he said it. If he said it, believe it. Whatever he say he did it.
Yeah. Seriously.
Period.
You cannot change a man. This is why changing a man like always blew me, because I know you can't change my mind. So who am I?
Period.
To think that I can change your mind when I know you can't change mine.
But for us women whose mind has been changed, i.e. me, that have walked into situations and stuff has happened or I've allowed it to happen, when it's like I'm supposed to be standing firm in who I am, and then X, Y, and Z happens, and all of a sudden I'm like, well, okay, maybe.
It's a lot of women that's willing to bend.
Yeah.
Men aren't so willing to bend.
They don't bend at all.
No.
Men don't bend, but they'll play with you.
They'll play, but they ain't
that first couple of months.
They got to do that for 5 years, and then somebody call you like, Shirley, this is Barbara. Like,
what?
Where did you come in? It's like, nah, he been building a whole nother family. While you paying his bills.
Right.
He talking to somebody who he really enjoys being around, who deals with what he willing to put up with.
What he has going on.
What he has going on.
And that's why you have to pay absolute attention to what he's saying and his behavior.
What he's doing.
Because he's going to show you everything that you need to see.
Right.
I don't gotta meet your mama. There's a lot of steps that we don't even have to go through for me to realize who you absolutely are.
Right.
That's you.
Yeah.
At the point that a man says, I don't want to get married, or even I don't want to have kids. Because I know I was listening to Steve Harvey morning show. It's rare that I listen. Sometimes I go ahead and tune on in. It's foolishness. But the conversation was about a woman being married to a man for, I think they were married for like 10 years. And initially, out the gate, he said he didn't want kids. She went on ahead and married him with the expectation that she could change his mind in him wanting children.
And what happened? No kids.
10 years later, you're sitting here. Man. You're saying, I want a child. But he like, no, I don't want no kid.
I told you.
So
that.
Because you set that expectation within yourself, but you didn't communicate it.
Set yourself up.
Now you hurt.
Yeah.
You're hurt. We got to change how we raise women, too, I think.
We have to. That's
like that's a whole other conversation.
It's a whole nother conversation.
But they really
deep. But you gotta change who raises the women,
right?
Because you go off of what your grandmama said. Your grandmama done been through.
Because that's what our parents did.
5 babies. Brother had 5 babies on her, and
she got 4 baby daddies. It go both ways because that's the thing. Our parents kind of just did whatever their parents taught them, and I think that's why I love the evolution of parents I see now that are like our age, where they are doing the work and the generational curses being broken of them healing and doing the work and saying like, nobody in my family has ever done this for their child or raised their child like this. I'm going to do it differently. Mom, grandma, you probably not going to agree with what I'm doing, but I'm doing it, and this is the boundary I'm creating for my child. Right. You have to create them for yourself and for your kids.
But even knowing that it's okay to set those boundaries.
Yeah.
Because
people are just not realizing it.
You get to a place where you feel like out of respect, there are certain things that I can't say. Mm-hmm. I know with our friends group, we just had a whole series on relationships and how to establish boundaries based on every type of relationship.
Right.
But because we are coerced into this fear of, well, if you don't comply, you gonna
have this consequence,
or you gonna be by yourself. Or, you know, you ain't gonna have the support or help you need.
And we have to cut those ways of thinking off because it's
okay. And I know specifically within our African American community, boundaries don't exist.
And we had, that's why
bringing up the word boundary.
They're like, what is, I swear. I had a conversation with a friend today going through something with a parent, and I was telling her about boundaries and how our parents will literally probably be like, boundary? What's that mean?
What is that? That's disrespectful.
Who
is the boundary?
Who is she?
What's boundaries mom? What's her number? Let me call boundaries mom.
Yeah, so I think, and that's the core of, I agree with everything you said, and about who is raising these men and women to become these people with these issues that they take out on us, or that we get to the point where we are fearful to say yes, no, or have an in-between, have an indifference. But I think you do. It goes back to how people are raising the kids and what our generation has encountered. But going forward, what we have to know is that we kind of set the precedent now. I think with conversations like this, that we're able to know and learn and say, okay, this is what I did. So that when we have daughters, that we know we are taught as kids, Ken and Barbie, we grow up, we get married, we get the picket fence. We're taught that it's okay for us to know with our kids that there's self-love. If you happen to get a husband, great, but that is not the end goal for your life. And I think that's what we are taught. And that's why you have a woman who's 10 years, a man told her, I don't want to have kids. She chose to still marry him. And now 10 years later, she calling into the Steve Harvey show.
Because you thought that marriage was going to change that. Have kids. You can't change it. Now, I know we talked about building a man. There's a difference in building versus changing. Because building starts with a foundation. You build something, you build now off of a solid foundation. Changing a foundation or changing a building that's already established off of a certain foundation, depending on the materials that you use, the tools that you use, it may be impossible.
Do you guys stone bricks or do you
most times it's impossible.
It's impossible.
And you have to, that's something for us to think about, building and changing, because you're not changing nobody.
Right. No.
I'm like, you're not changing.
You can't.
You're not changing people. But if you have
impossible.
somebody, if you have that friendship, you've looked at the core essentials, you've kind of worked on your non-negotiables, and you have those things ready, you can kind of work on building those up. Like we talked about spirituality.
That's why you got to define build, because I think people get confused.
No.
Because build, they thinking build like
no. Not start from scratch. Building means that we have established something.
We're
changing. We're right. What's say encouraging.
You already got to have that foundation.
I think that's the core. I think building, you have to have something to build on. You have that foundation that you have established. Changing means that he's told you, I have not been to church since 8th grade and I do not plan on going. And you get with this person and you think that you're about to make him get baptized on first Sunday. Right, no.
You gonna swing by my house?
No, sis, he about to jump out the car. like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, he tuck and rolling out your car because you thought you was about to change him. That is not happening. Not. So that is the difference. You cannot change these brothers or sisters. But if you work on the things that we said, you can create a foundation and have something to build upon. That's what's gonna be the key.
That's strength right there. I need to. You gonna write some podcasts?
Look, make your own clip notes. Your own clip notes. So we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen, with the resolution. So we've talked about the core essentials, which are what you must identify early on. We've talked about the non-negotiables. And the last piece of it would be the desirables. These are things that may not necessarily be deal breakers or things that are going to make you walk away from your partner or potential partner. But these are things that you just may desire in a man or woman or relationship. So we're going to talk a little bit about what those may be. So Kiera, what are some of your desirables that you just talked about?
I am definitely, I guess what they would label a chubby chaser.
Okay, what's that?
You gotta have some substance to you. Look, I'm solid.
Okay.
I'm a solid woman in my being. Look, I can't look at you and feel like I can put you on my hip. If I can put you on my hip, bro, this ain't gonna work. Like flat out. Like I need to know that you got some substance to you. I got a mouth on me. If we out in public and I say something, I need to know that you got my back. Yes. I got an army behind me. Like, if I feel like we in danger as a unit, it's not going to work. We can't go nowhere. No, we can't do this.
No, we in danger.
We in danger. No, this is not going to work. So me, like, I love a good smile. I love good hair. All of that, you know what I'm saying? All of that's cool, but you got to be solid in your stance. I mean, the shoulders, the back, the weight. You got to have some legs. Something. Baby, you can't. If I see your ankles and they don't look like they can hold up, baby, this is not going to work. This ain't going to work.
You got to be built on a great foundation.
Hey, look, that foundation.
The foundation is more than just the mental.
I can't do it. I can't. Look, I love my slimming. Y'all are nice to look at. For me, it's not gonna work in a relationship. It's not gonna work.
It is funny because I'm sturdy and heavy, but the skinny tall guys always are attracted to me. Mm-hmm. Like I've never been like a chubby chaser or
that is so funny.
I've never thought about it like you gotta be solid. But then like I have had those situations like, so if they pull up on this,
what we gonna do? Well, you nervous.
What we gonna do? Like I'm not gonna be nervous because I'm gonna fight to the end. I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
Yeah.
But I guess for me, like my desirable is just somebody that's clean cut. Like my dad wears a suit to Sam's Club.
Yeah.
Like my dad gets up now when he goes to Sam's Club, he'll put on his coat, he'll put on his shirt, but he won't put on the top. So that's when he'll leave the top
little casual.
And he may put on like his Cole Haan little loafer type shoes. Yeah. But I respect that.
Me too, because I hate joggers.
You take yes.
I can see your ankles. I want to see your ankles.
You put enough effort into your appearance. Now, joggers cool. Like, for the occasion.
Right.
Yeah.
But, like, you just have to be clean cut. Like, I know, like, if we're going to church, bruh, that little polo.
You gotta have church.
That polo and them, look, the wide leg khakis with the cuff, it's not going to do it.
I can deal with the polo.
And not just one church outfit. Like, do you go to church once a month? Like, what's that?
Right. I think I got one church outfit. I think I got one church outfit.
Now, I mean, with women, we can get away with black. We can get away with black. Because we put on the black dress, we can change our jewelry, we can change our shoes.
Yeah.
But I at least need you to have at least a black suit, a blue suit, a gray suit.
And some ties.
An assortment of shirts.
Yes.
And ties.
Not from February to the
If you got
I don't need you on your
white
H&M
socks
trip.
with a church suit is a no.
Absolutely
I don't need you on your H&M
Is a no.
trip.
But if I'm pulling up with a guy and he got on some joggers and a little t-shirt that's
my Uber driver
short, and I'm bringing you to meet my dad and he got on the suit going to Sam's.
Y'all no lie. My sister's ex-boyfriend, right? It's my wedding. My little sister, of course, is in the wedding. Her boyfriend, came. My daddy dogged him from here to the East Coast.
What did he have?
Shirt was wrinkled. It don't matter what you have on. Your shirt was wrinkled. And my daddy pulled up on my table.
You don't know how to dress for occasion?
To draw my attention to the fact that my shirt was wrinkled. Young man. Like, he can't continue. I gotta talk to my child because he got to go today because he showed up to a wedding.
But that's an indicator of
who they are. That she missed those core essentials. Yeah, she
What's
missed
your house look like?
She missed it.
Your shirt is wrinkled?
He probably didn't own an iron.
And when I said the shirt was wrinkled, y'all, like...
It had been crumbled up.
If there was a picture in the dictionary next to wrinkled,
it was that shirt.
This was it.
I don't have time.
The least you can do is throw it in a jar. For fire.
Dryer. When I say my mom used to literally pull us in the house on our way to school and we already late, like, nah, come back in. You finna iron them jeans.
Because at the end of the day, when people look at you, they see me.
That's and for me,
I'm like, they just some jeans. I'm finna go walk them off. The wrinkles gonna fall out. She like, no.
That's the kind of stuff we do now.
I don't care about that detention. Get on in there.
And straighten up. Ain't no straight back there with no stretch. Straighten
but
up.
That's core. So if you showing up, you don't know how to dress for an occasion. It's a
special
occasion.
And I think that's an important desirable for you to be able to dress for the occasion. That you don't go to church, school, work, all looking the same way. And it's dusty on all three occasions. I think, but that's a good point you made. I need to know if somebody roll up what we gonna do. I need to be confident in what's about to happen.
Because look, I'm gonna do all that I can. I may be short in stature,
but we might.
But I pack a mighty punch. Now look. If we gotta sit in the car and discuss how this gonna go, the plan, this ain't it.
Because we don't need to plan. I need you to be able
now
to
you ain't gotta be large, but you gotta have some legs.
Yeah. I think that's desirable for me. I think you need to be quick on your toes.
10 toes down behind you. Right.
You can't hit me with a get 'em, baby.
Yeah.
No. It's how you 10 toes down. How?
Look,
that's why you might not need a tall, skinny dude.
Look,
he's standing behind you.
Standing behind me, and I'm just
what we about to do?
Because look, I'm gonna do all that I can.
Somebody's solid.
I'm going to do all that I can. But if somebody walk up and they blowing you leaning and tipping, I don't even know what we gonna do with this. Away.
I'm going to walk away.
We both walking away.
Look, I ain't gonna stunt though. Like my dad is country to his core.
Yeah.
That man cook, clean,
shout
fish,
out to Pop.
hunt, whatever. Like, so for me, aside from just knowing that you got my back physically, I need to know that you can sustain
hands
for
on
us. Look, you got to be able to put some work in.
Yeah, it's not like I had a baby, I'm on bed rest, and now nothing is functioning in the house.
Right.
No.
I think you do have to have. For me, that's important as far as a desirable that you can cook, that you can clean properly, that you can fish, hunt, drive, pick up the kids. Oh. It's not like I don't know where nothing is. I don't know what to do. My wife did it. No. We have shared responsibilities.
Period. Because my daddy had us washing his car. Yeah. Like, what? Get up. Come on.
Yeah.
Planting seeds.
This how you
cutting the
grass.
Yeah.
Scrub these tires.
Come on.
Yeah.
Put that shine on.
I'm
on
show
both
you
sides
everything.
Of the spectrum.
Yes.
I think that, and in desirables a lot of times too, I think comes down, of course, the physical. I think I want, like I always say, 6 is the lowest I'm going. On a scale of 1 to 10, I can't go no lower than a 6. But
I ain't going to, okay.
6 is like, I'm
Beyonce.
Yeah, but 6 is like,
but I think I'm a solid 8.
You must got a lot of money for me to be at a 6. But I'm like, you got a lot of other personality traits that have drawn me in if I go that low. But I think desirables, of course, the clean cut, you got all your teeth in your mouth, you keep a haircut.
Hygiene.
Hygiene
that
is
goes
important.
Clean cut.
Desirables, your car you're not riding on a donut, so
personality.
You have a good personality. Personality is almost on the core essential non-negotiables list. Because I cannot be with a person that doesn't have a personality or doesn't know how to laugh at themselves or at me or crack a joke. They say you're a man or a woman. You should be able to laugh in your relationship. Look back and laugh at things. And if you are, an energy vampire, then it's no way that you're going to be able to make anybody laugh. So I think that the desirables come down to, sometimes the physical things, where you stand with how the person looks, how they operate, what core essentials that they can or cannot do. So it's things that are not requirements, things you really can work on, but they're really surface level. They're things that at the end of the day, you'll be okay if they are not there to some extent. So take that with a grain of salt. So I believe right now that brings us to the resolution segment. And this is a segment where we really just give you guys some advice on how you navigate through the core essentials and the non-negotiables to have the conversation, sometimes the hard conversation of when it comes to this topic.
So I definitely think that you're right. It's definitely a conversation, but in that conversation, you have to be able to listen.
Right.
So if that person gives you, their non-negotiables and you don't meet that list, cut it off then. If you express your non-negotiables and they don't meet that list, cut it off then. Like, you just have to be open and receptive to the information that they're providing to you. Mm-hmm. If they say this is something they can do and their integrity is not in place and you realize based on their actions that that's not what it is, cut it off then. If you realize that you're not physically attracted to them, that's not going to change. Cut it off then and just accept the information that is being presented to you. You have to listen to their words, their actions, and the universe that's presenting this information to you. Yep. You got to be open
it's
to
like
it.
You can't force a circle in a square.
You can't force that fit.
And no matter who think he's perfect for you,
you can't change that.
Is he or is he not? Move on.
Period. To be single or not.
So you can't change that, and that's the thing, like that change piece.
And see, I feel like understanding the difference between building versus changing, because building, of course, like we discussed earlier, building is going to be based off of a solid foundation. But if there is no foundation to build upon, then what do you really have? I can't change you.
Right. Now,
I may be able to, suggest things, but what you do with those suggestions are up to you. But that's not guaranteed. So at the point that I realized that, if you're sure in what your beliefs are, your understandings of this world, your perspectives are, and I can't change that, there's no way for us to build. So you have to know how to differentiate between the two and understand which of, building is going to get you to a place of forward moving. Where trying to change a man, an adult man, it's grown man,
not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Because you can't make an adult man or woman do anything that they don't want to do. So it's like, if you have something to build upon, you're working with something. But if you're trying to force a person to change, it's likely not going to happen.
And then why even put yourself
in that position?
That mental frustration of trying to figure out ways
to changing them.
I can't do it.
It's dumb. And listen to us. We've tried it. All of us
tried. Literally,
we have tried it. It does not work.
Right.
So if you are in a position now in a relationship where you are trying to change someone, you're trying to make somebody be with you, you're trying to make somebody compromise to the things you want, you're trying to make somebody marry you, you're trying to make somebody a man or woman and they don't want to be. Get out.
Please let it go.
It's not gonna happen. We hate to be the bearers of bad news. But that's what we are here for. We don't. That's what the podcast is for. That's what it's for.
Somebody gotta say it. I think when developing your non-negotiables, being self-aware and secure in who you are and who you know you're about to be or who you are becoming, because that's the journey itself. But you have to know that first before you even make non-negotiables. Because I think that's where it comes from, like not being comfortable communicating that.
Right.
Because you're not even sure if this is is this what you want?
Right.
Because once you get it, prayer is a powerful thing.
They'll show up at your doorstep.
Manifesting is a powerful thing.
Yeah.
So if the only thing on your non-negotiables is he gotta make money, he gotta have money, the devil will show up with a bag of millions.
Yep, and be whooping your ass for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and have 3 girlfriends on the side. Yeah. And just have all types of food.
His name will be Future.
You insecure. You in therapy trying to figure out why me? Why you don't like certain things? Whole time is your man. Why you can't have kids? Anyways, that's a whole nother subject.
All the above.
I mean, because non-negotiables, relationships, and marriage, we just have to think deeper as a people, because the point of relationships is to get to marriage. I mean, if you're Christian, that's your beliefs. And I just feel like that spiritual connection is what bonds you.
Right.
God literally made one person for you.
Right.
Y'all have a purpose together.
For a reason.
You're supposed to build and strengthen each other. So if you mess around Be fruitful. Like, people out here wondering why they're not fertile, but the OBGYN talking about they got plenty of eggs, but you chasing this man. She ain't even supposed to have kids.
God,
like, having baby. Like, that's the whole, like,
and
the
that's
whole
that
point of
revelation piece of
seriously, like, that, the whole thing is like a spiritual connection. Like, having babies is a miracle. Like, people don't say that.
They don't. But
just for fun.
My biology teacher said it in college. People don't realize it, but having especially a healthy baby
is
a miracle.
It's like a miracle in itself.
It's not.
There's so many people that say, "Oh, I didn't believe I had kids," and popped up with one like, because that connection was made to be like. So I just feel like you can't even get to that point of understanding if you don't even know who you are,
right? Or
you don't even know what you're worth,
right? To
write down the non-negotiables or things you should expect out of your partner. Like,
so you have to be very self-aware, and you have to be secure in what
who
the list
you are
is,
to staying strong in that,
and
to be like, nah, because I know better, and
I'm gonna do better.
And you're not it.
Yeah.
So take the t-shirt.
So I got to get out. I think that you have to create the list and you have to be able to stick with it, but you also have to recognize that the list may be ever changing, because as you know, in relationships and of course marriage, I'm sure you can testify to that no one day is going to be the same. Nobody's going to stay the same from year to year, month to month, possibly from day to day. But I think that we have to stop letting, and I said this before, we do things out of love or either out of fear. And we have to stop doing things in relationships out of fear. So stop saying that, if we found who we are, if we are self-aware, if we've prayed and manifested what we desire, and we know that this is what we want on our list, when the man shows up, we cannot veer from that because this person in front of us has blatantly told us that they cannot be changed, they are not willing to build, and that they don't want to be there. Right. So I think we have to be able to create our list of our non-negotiables. We have to be very aware of the core essentials, and we have to always keep those in the forefront as we have different encounters in relationships to know, how are we going to move differently today than we did yesterday? Because based on, as a single woman, obviously many of the things that we've done are not working. Myself, just speaking on that, non-negotiables were not in place. So now I know what it takes in order to have those in place. And if you are in a relationship, married, no matter what it may be something you want to deal with, not even on a spousal kind of relationship. It can be relationships with other people. Evaluate where you are in those. If you don't have a list, make a list. Start thinking about those things today so that you can act upon them. So the core essentials, the non-negotiables. You guys have it there and you know what to do with it. So we want to thank all of our guests for coming on today. Claps. Woo-hoo. Your opinions, as usual, are valued and appreciated. And we will be right back with the Montana Minute. And now this brings us to the Montana Minute. The first thing to remember with non-negotiables is that there are levels to it. The first one being core essentials. These are character traits and things that are important to you, like integrity and honesty, and things that you really just want to make a mental note of that you may or may not bring up to your potential partner right away. The next thing will be non-negotiables. I believe every man and woman should have a list of at least 5 to 6 things that are non-negotiables and things that are hard stops if they are not in place for a relationship to possibly begin. And then the last thing, desirables. Those are things like physical traits, certain things we desire to have, but they aren't deal breakers. Really more like a wish list. So ultimately, I think you have to take all of these things into consideration to save yourself from some heartbreak later on. And at the end of each episode, we always want to leave you to decide to be single or not to be. Until next time, signing off, Shanna Montana.